What would you define as a safer Tennessee?
Safer Tennessee is one where guns are regulated and those regulations are enforced.
And would that be like banning all guns or just assault
No, it wouldn't
weapons?
be banning all guns. The Second Amendment means we have the right to have them, but there is no reason to have military armaments out in the general public.
And what would you define as a military-grade weapon?
Military-grade weapon is one with rapid repeat fire, extended magazines that can take out a whole bunch of people in the matter of a few seconds.
So pistols and ARs and AKs.
Yeah, any of this weaponry that was developed for the military and that takes the body apart whenever those bullets hit, they disintegrate you from the inside out.
Well, after this discussion, I've come to the conclusion we must ban the 19th Amendment.
The 19th Amendment being.
That's exactly why it should be banned. It's the women's right to vote.
A Connecticut gun store is robbed, and an anti-gun Connecticut group blames the gun store. Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC, P.A.N. Firearms for NRA certification and multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. And if you like the channel, like the content, and like what I do here, you can support me with the link in the description box. Everything's appreciated. And let's talk about this. Now, there was a robbery at a Newington gun store, and most of us know this gun store. It's one of the bigger ones. Here's Hoffman's Guns for the Good Guys. They're on the Berlin Turnpike in Newington, but they were burglarized. I want to briefly get into this story. It's not that big an article, but let's talk about it first. And this was dated May 27th, but several guns were stolen from a gun shop on the Berlin Turnpike during a burglary Saturday morning in Newington, police said. An employee at Hoffman's Guns for the Good Guys at 2686 Berlin Turnpike called the police at about 7:40 a.m. Saturday to report a robbery, according to the Newington Police Department. An initial investigation led officers to believe that the suspect or suspects were still inside the store. The Newington Police Department emergency response team was activated and a heavy police presence, including law enforcement officers in tactical gear, were on scene, police said. Investigators learned that the suspect had fled the scene before police arrived. They determined that several guns of an unknown amount of cash were stolen from the store, police said. Newington police were assisted by other first responders from the region, including the Newington Volunteer Fire Department, police said in a statement on Saturday, provided resources that were crucial to the overall safety of the incident. Detectives were still on scene Saturday afternoon, and the investigation was ongoing. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Newington Police Department. Now, this is just unfortunately living in society. When you have something somebody wants that they don't want to pay for, they will come try to take it from you. It's just an unfortunate part of life. But an anti-gun group here in Connecticut, the Connecticut Against Gun Violence, which is really an interesting title because you have to be shot by a gun for them to care about you, because if you kill any other way, they really couldn't give a damn. But they decided to go to social media and literally pronounce this robbery at Hoffman's as somehow the gun store's fault that this happened. And you can see the screenshot here. Yeah. This is their words. Holding gun dealers accountable for a criminal robbing their store. This is what they're talking about here. The Governor's Act addressing gun violence, passed by an overwhelming majority this week, contains provisions to hold gun dealers accountable. How are they holding a gun dealer accountable for the actions of a criminal? They're going to have to explain this one, because this is just asinine on a level you can't even start to get into. They got robbed. You know, could you imagine a woman is sexually assaulted and they say there are provisions in the governor's bill that, protects the person who sexually assaults you. It's the same thing. They're making the gun store the damn criminal in this position, and it's somehow the guy who broke in, it was not his fault. It's the gun store's fault. It's the gun store's fault this happened. These people are crazy. They really are. And of course, They went through the comments and yeah, they got fried. And rightfully so. First one right out the jump. How are you blaming the store for getting stolen from? It's the criminal you should be blaming. No, because I think it's a good point. But this person has to understand these are the same people who blame the gun and not the person who pulled the trigger. Okay, so why would you expect them to elevate their intellectual and logical minds to the point to say, well, it's not really the gun store's fault, it's actually the criminal who broke in? Why would you expect them to do that? They are of one mindset. What do you want from them? This is the best they can do. But I just thought that was just outrageous. But let's be clear. Gun stores must have alarm systems. Must. Okay? And I have not seen one yet in my 20 plus years that does not have a camera system in the store. So they do have some footage. They're just not talking about it. I guarantee you Hoffman's got a video system. But I guarantee that the police are not talking about it because I bet you 10 to 1 they have an idea who did it. They're just not going to let the cat out of the bag. So this person will get picked up quickly. And the problem is here in Connecticut, even if the person who did this gets arrested, what's going to happen? Hey, man, you know, we can't be locking people up because equity in our justice system. We can't hold them accountable for what they do. They're just hungry. They came from a broken family. You see, this is the bullshit I'm talking about. Because they're not going to hold the person truly accountable when they catch up to them. And I've seen this over and over again. I'll give you a story. I worked a store down in Norwalk, and I had a bunch of kids, 14, 15-year-olds, who would come into the store. And I would always tell them, look, guys, there's no reason for you to be here, so go ahead, please. Could you just please leave? And while they were leaving and walking down the driveway, a Norwalk detective came up, and I pointed out to him that these kids keep coming here, and I don't know what they're doing because there's no reason for them to be there. At that age, there's nothing for them to do here. So the detective went down in his car, spoke to him, came back. And he goes, yeah, I know those kids. Shit, they robbed another gun store like 2 weeks prior. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Those kids. He goes, those kids. Yeah, they literally robbed a gun store 2 weeks prior to me seeing him in the store where I worked. So what were they doing there? I could speculate. But I'm like, but that was 2 weeks ago. He goes, yeah, that's how it is. These kids stole guns from another store. 2 weeks later, they're in another gun store, basically when they're not supposed to be. That's the problem. It's not the private gun ownership. It's not what kind of weapons or firearms somebody owns. It's the fact that our justice system is upside down and not holding people accountable for what they do. But don't tell these people that, because as far as they're concerned, it's just the gun. Because I guarantee you, when all the guns, let's be clear, if they were to get their way and all the guns disappear and violence continues, you won't hear a peep out of these people. They won't say 2 words. People will be getting murdered, beaten, violence left and right, robberies. They're not going to say anything. Because their agenda is not about your safety. It's about disarming the public. That's it. They're not going to say that out loud. Because, God forbid, they tell the truth. But that's a whole nother thing. But I just found this story to be like, wow. They're actually blaming the gun store. And not the person, the criminal. They didn't mention the criminal once. It's all about the gun store. But hey, this is the world we live in, right? Common sense is going out the window and logic is following right behind it. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I will see you on the next one. Peace.